What if we could get a degree with a master's in business imagination? World-class innovators thrive on creativity, on their ability to generate ideas.
Years ago, when thinking about innovation, I thought to myself, what we really need out there is a degree that might be a master's in business innovation.
I said, wouldn't it be cool if we could go to school and we could get a degree in innovation? And the more I thought about it, I thought that's not what we really need.
Maybe we don't need more MBAs. Maybe we don't need more people who have a master's in business administration. Maybe we're running things really well already. We don't need more administration. We need more innovation. And then I realized what is going on with the world of fast-paced change, and realized that maybe innovation isn't good enough.
What we need is a degree in imagination.
And what each of you need to develop is a master's in business imagination. And that's what I want to try and cover. What is it that masters in business imagination do to deal with opportunity? Well, the very first thing they do is they take the mystery out of this word innovation.
MBIs see things differently and are creative in terms of their responses. MBIs spur creativity in other people. They help to bring them along for the voyage in coming up with the bold solutions to complex problems. MBIs focus on opportunity, not threat. A master's in business imagination will look at those trends and will say, wow, what an opportunity to do something significant. MBIs refuse to accept the status quo. We can't keep doing what we've done in the past and expect that to work forward into the future. MBIs bring ideas to life. MBIs learn and unlearn. Learning is what most adults will do for a living in the 21st century.
To be innovative, you need to challenge yourself to do things you haven't done before.
MBIs refuse to say the word can't.
Hi, I'm Jim Carroll. I'm a futurist, trends, and innovation expert. And for over 25 years, I have spent my time on stage worldwide advising some of the leading organizations around the world about the trends that will impact them and what they need to do to align to a future in which the future truly belongs to those who are fast. And there is no doubt that in the last several months, the global pandemic and COVID-19 have caused havoc on the global economy. Organizations are struggling to understand what is really happening. What are the trends that matter? What can we expect in the future? Where might we find ourselves in the year 2030? What happened to all of those trends that we were talking about? And where do we go from here? Since this crisis began, I have been working furiously to put in place a sophisticated home broadcast studio in which I can continue to share my insight with clients and organizations worldwide. I've been working to analyze the trends that matter and what we need to do from a leadership perspective to align ourselves for the era of acceleration. The very first thing I came to realize is that the global pandemic has caused a war between fast-moving events and previously slow companies. Think about the speed with which you've seen entire industries from healthcare to retail reinvent themselves at a speed which is simply unprecedented. Now, when I was on stage previously, I would often use stories to get across the reality of our accelerating future. For example, I would use the 1962 TV show The Jetsons. The Jetsons was set in the year 2062. Essentially, it was a group of futurists trying to predict what would come next. And I would put in perspective that what we saw in the Jetsons was actually arriving 50 years early. We can now examine the Jetsons in light of our COVID-19 reality. For example, the Jetsons predicted the arrival and dominance of the home office, online education, telemedicine, and video calling, which has become so much a part of our working life. For the fun of it, I've gone back and looked at other TV shows to see what they might have predicted about our post-pandemic future. And guess what? If you take a look at the TV show Get Smart from the early 1970s, you can see the cone of silence, which might very well become a technology that is used throughout our working and social and daily life as a means of providing for social distancing. But on a more serious note, it is more critical than ever before to re-examine the trends of our past, put them under a new microscope, and assess what they might mean as we go forward into this dramatically different future. Here's what I've seen. Number one, I have seen a sudden trend acceleration, where trends which we were talking about previously has suddenly taken on dramatic new importance. For example, the concept of 3D printing has been in the world of manufacturing for quite some time. But all of a sudden, because of the global pandemic, organizations were using 3D printing technology to print nasal swabs, surgical masks, and other technologies used in the COVID-19 crisis. What this has caused is a new realization by organizations and CEOs that this is a very real technology and opportunity which can truly transform the world of manufacturing. I've seen a sudden acceleration of social distancing technology concepts. For example, in the world of manufacturing again, we've been talking about the arrival of cobots or cooperative robots. These are robotic manufacturing devices which can work in concert in close proximity to humans. And suddenly, with a need for social distancing, there is a realization that we need to accelerate the adoption of this technology to provide some unique solutions to the new workspace requirements that we might find ourselves within. We are witnessing the absolutely furious rate of change of quicker industry reinvention. Think about what has happened with telemedicine. I've been talking on stage about telemedicine concepts for over 25 years, and all of a sudden, driven by urgency and necessity, and all of a sudden, throughout the global health community, there is a realization that telemedicine is here today and provides a real and disruptive opportunity going forward. There is also very much a new realization for older trends, the concept of big data and analytics. It's been with us for at least 10 years. But as we watched the global progression of the pandemic, there was a new appreciation by people worldwide that the role of big data and analytics in assessing, analyzing, and viewing the progression of the disease provided a new insight into a complex problem. Around the world, we have seen the emergence of new collaborative concepts as entire workforces, as entire organizations have gone virtual in ways that were never previously imagined. We've seen situations in which there have been new collaboration concepts appearing at an absolutely furious pace. In the world of science, we have discovered a new form of collaborative science as individuals race to find a cure for the complexities of the COVID-19 situation. This will forever change the concept and progression of science itself. We are witnessing an acceleration of basic scientific concepts. This has far-reaching implications because science is at the root of all innovation going forward. Faster science means a faster world as we go forward into the future. One of the most significant trends is I've witnessed the end of what I call pilot purgatory. This is a situation which has existed in many organizations where they would look at a leading edge technology, they would put into a pilot program in order to assess it, but they would never actually go through with full deployment. COVID-19 and the global pandemic has forced an end to pilot purgatory. A very good example is found with what is happening with the industrial Internet of Things, and a realization that we can now embed these sensors throughout a manufacturing facility in order to have a better insight into our manufacturing process, which might be a requirement in the new era of social distance-based manufacturing. We're also seeing disruptive ideas take on new urgency. The absolutely dramatic changes occurring in the world of retail, as so much of the world has migrated to online shopping and e-commerce, has seen one of the most massive re-engineering of an industry of all time. And there is a realization that last mile delivery technology, what we were talking about with drone technology, can take on a sudden new urgency as a means of re-engineering this industry even further in the context of massive consumer behavioral change. If you think about the impact of all of these trends, agility itself has been redefined. I spent time with many Fortune 500 organizations worldwide talking about the concept of leadership agility and that we needed to develop a corporate culture that would allow us to move quickly. What has happened here now is a realization that we need to move faster than ever before. Think about all of these trends, and the reality is that future insight is more critical than ever before. Re-examining where we might find ourselves in the year 2030 in the context of an eventual post-pandemic recovery is becoming far more important. Previously on stage, I would describe to my clients that we are now in a situation which companies that do not yet exist will build products not yet conceived using materials not yet invented. And this era of acceleration is making that concept more realistic than ever before. I would challenge my clients to disrupt their industries before they were disrupted. That is taking on a new sense of urgency. And my key bit of guidance for all of my clients was this: we need to think big, Start small and scale fast. I would encourage you to visit my website and visit the topic page, Our World in 2030, the post-pandemic trends that will redefine your future.